Okay, in today's session we are going to start up with the law of variable proportions. In the previous clipping you might have understood about the short time period and the long time period and the short run production function and the long run production function. So as mentioned earlier, what you have as part of class 11 curriculum in microeconomics is only the short run production function in detail, which is also known as the law of variable proportions. Yes. So let us try and understand more about the law of variable proportions or the LVP or the law of variable proportions. Yes. So production function refers to the technical relationship between the input and output. Yes. So even as the input are going to be increased in the short time period, what is going to be the effect on the output? Does the output increase? If it increases, at what rate is it going to increase? Is it going to increase at the same rate or is that going to vary? Is that going to vary? So that's exactly what we are going to discuss under this law of variable proportions in the short time period. Yes? Yeah? So ceteris paribus, or all other things remaining the same, even as the entrepreneur is going to increase the variable inputs in the short time period, the output, the total output increases initially at an increasing rate and then at a decreasing rate and then at a negative rate. Yes, let me repeat. Even as the entrepreneur is going to increase the inputs. Yes, what inputs? You have understood that there is going to be the variable input and also the fixed input. Yes, fixed input that's going to remain fixed throughout the time period of production. And variable inputs, they are going to be increased one after the other. So even as the variable inputs are going to be varied initially, the total product or the total output will increase at an increasing rate and then at a decreasing rate and then at a negative rate. Yes, so this is what we are going to see through a schedule, through a diagram, and then we will also end up looking into the relationship between the total product, marginal product and the average product. So what are these terms? I'm sure you will be very familiar with the total utility, marginal utility and so on, isn't it? Similar such concepts we will be discussing here as part of the LVP. Yes, okay. So variable input, we have already understood that it could be labor. For very simple reasons, we take up labor. Without labor, not much of production activity can happen in this world, can it now? Yes, so labor is taken up as a variable input and the capital is taken as a fixed input. Yes, yeah. Now, when the first unit of the variable input is going to be undertaken in the process of production, or the very first laborer is going to be inducted into the work, yes, with 1 unit of capital, combination of 1:1, what is that going to result in? The total product or the total output? It could be, let us say, 10. Fine. That is, one laborer working with 1 unit of capital is going to produce 10 units of output. Yes. To increase the total product or the total output to the next level, then the producer has to increase only the variable inputs. That is, the fixed inputs, they are going to remain the same. If it's 1 unit of the fixed input, till the end of the production activity, the fixed input does not change, it remains fixed. With every increase in the output, the fixed input remains constant. That's given to you, isn't it? So, you can simply fill up this particular column, fixed input, that's going to remain the same, 1 unit only. Yes? So, let's say to reach on to the next level of output, that is 20, Yeah. One more laborer has to be used. So the second laborer is going to be made use of in the process of production, and this combination of 2 laborers and 1 unit of capital is going to result in 20 units of output. What does that mean? What does that mean? The contribution by the second person is going to be the difference between these two. Again, what am I talking about? What am I talking about? I am talking about the marginal product. Fine. So what is marginal product? Marginal product is nothing but the increase in the output due to one more unit of variable input that is employed in the process of production. Due to employing one more unit of variable input, the resultant output would be the marginal product. How is it calculated? Yes, it is going to be calculated as the rate of change of the total product. That is, if there are going to be n number of units produced, the total product, yes, will be referred to as GPN. Yeah. Then the marginal product of the nth unit, fine, what will that be? The TPN minus TPN minus 1. Now this is very, very familiar to you from your utility theory. You know that the total utility and the marginal utility, they are very much related. Marginal utility is the utility of the additional unit of consumption. Come on, a similar topic out here in production function we are discussing. Marginal product, it refers to the additional output that is gained due to one more variable input that is employed in the process of production. See this? Initially it was 1:1, that is 1 laborer and 1 unit of capital, which resulted in 10 units of the total product. Now, to move on to the next level of output, that is 20, yeah, one more additional unit of variable factor is employed in the process of production. So, due to this increase, there is this resultant increase in the total product. Yes? So, the marginal product is calculated as TPN minus 1 out here, assuming that TPN is the total product. Or in this case, let us come back to this table and find out how the marginal product is calculated for the given set of data out here. Right? Now for this first combination, 1:1, right? The total product is 10. Now given that only 1 unit is produced, the initial unit that is produced becomes the marginal unit. So the MP will also be 10. TP is 10, MP will also be 10. Yeah? Initial unit of production is the last unit of production. Isn't it? You're just starting with a production activity. So the initial unit will be the last unit that is produced. So the total product will be the same as the marginal product. Subsequently, when you are increasing the output, level of output or the production to the next level, that is possible due to increased amount of variable input. Yes, so due to employment of this variable input, what is the addition that is made to the total product or the total output? That is what we are going to understand through this MP. Yes, so the difference between this 20 and 10, or rather the total product of 2 units minus the total product of 1 unit, fine, that is 20 minus 10, can be understood as 10 out here. Yes, so that's what, see, look at that, TPN minus 1. In this case, the N refers to what? The number of units of output that is produced. Yes, so just 2 units produced, yeah, 2 level of input that is undertaken, fine. So over here, look at this, TP N minus TP N minus 1, or rather this 20 minus 10, that will be 10 out here, fine, yeah. Now, subsequently, when we are going to move on to the next level of variable input that is going to be engaged in the process of production, what is going to happen? Because of this one more unit of variable input that's hired in the process of production, there is going to be less contribution made by this third person. Fine. What did we say? What did we see? As per the law, in the short run, even as your entrepreneur is going to increase the dosage of the variable inputs one after the other, initially the firm will be having increasing returns and then decreasing returns and then negative returns. Isn't it? Yeah. So that's exactly what we are trying to understand. So the third laborer who is going to be employed in the process of production, let's say, is going to contribute some more to the total product. Yeah. And that is going to be say 15 units. What is this 15 out here? That is going to be the contribution made by the third person. Yes. So what is the total contribution made by all the three? So 2 people are going to produce 20 units with some amount of capital. Yes. The third person is also going to be employed in the process of production. So this 20 plus 15. Yeah. So that is going to be 35 as a total product. Yeah. 3 laborers are going to be employed in the process of production and they are going to be combined with 1 unit of the fixed input or the fixed factor, which is capital in this case. So this combination of 3:1, that is going to give a total product or a total output of 35. And if you look into the change or the marginal product, in this case the rate of change of the total product, yeah, it is 35 minus 20, or the contribution by just the third person is 15 units. Right? Yeah. So compared to the first and the second person, the third person is contributing more. That's what we understand. There is an increasing returns due to employment of 1 more unit of variable input. So in case the fourth person is going to be engaged in the process of production, the fourth person will contribute much more than that of the third. Yes. So let's understand probably. This fourth person, let's say, is going to contribute 20 units. So, contribution done by 3 is going to be 35 and contribution just by the fourth person is going to be 20. So, what is the total product? Total product will be contribution done by 3 plus contribution done by the fourth. So, that would be 55. Yes, that would be 55. Yeah. Then let's take up 1 more unit of variable input. 1 more unit of variable input. In this case, it's going to be labor. Let's say the 5th laborer is going to be inducted into the production activity, and the contribution by this 5th person is, let's say, going to be 10. Yes. So contribution done by 4 people is 55 units, and then the 5th person is going to contribute 10. So that is going to be 65. Total product is going to become now 65. Yes. Then let's say the 6th person is going to be employed. So the 6th person, when the 6th person is going to work with the same amount of fixed factor, the contribution done by the 6th person is, let's say, going to be nil, nothing. Fine? Yeah. Then what about the total product? That is going to be 65 plus 0, so that is going to be 65. If the entrepreneur is going to move on to the 7th unit of laborer, 1 more unit of laborer, yes, is going to be employed in the process of production. And now you see that? What is happening? The first person, second person, third person, yes, fourth, till the fourth probably, till the fourth, every additional unit of the variable input or the laborer out here was contributing more. Yeah? Yeah? So till here what do we see? there is probably an increasing returns. After that, from the 5th onwards, the contribution that is done by the 5th and the 6th laborer is fallen. Yes, it has fallen, right? It is a decreasing returns that we see. You have to understand that it is the rate of change that we are talking about. If you look at the TP, that is increasing. Yeah, look at that, 10, 20, 35, 55, 65. That's increasing. What are we talking about then when we say increasing returns, decreasing returns? We are talking about the rate at which the TP changes. So initially, the rate at which the TP is changing is at an increasing rate. Right? Then, the TP is still increasing. Look at this. 55 to 65. Yes? So, it is still increasing. But then, the rate of increase has gone down. Yes? By 10. And here it is by 20. Yeah? So, the rate of increase has gone down or there is a decreasing returns. Fine? Now, coming back to the 7th laborer out here. When one more unit of laborer, the 7th laborer is going to be inducted in the process of production. Now, already the 6th laborer was contributing nothing. Yes? 7th laborer is going to, maybe, yeah, it is just enough if 5 people are going to be made use of in the production process. It is just enough for 5 people to work with that piece of capital. Now, just because the firm is employing the 6th and the 7th unit of laborer out there, we cannot expect the 6th and the 7th person to contribute more. Yeah? They may be contributing less. Why that happens? We'll come to that. We'll definitely come to that. Now let's finish this and then move on to the reasons. Yes? So the 7th person, yeah, might not be contributing, or rather was now what did I tell you? 5 people are probably just enough for that production activity, and then the 6th one was hired, and then the 6th one was unproductive, did not contribute anything towards the productive activity. The marginal product is 0. Fine? Yeah? So what about the total product? Nothing added to the total product because of the 6th person. And the 7th person, even for the 6th person, there was nothing to do. Yeah? When the 7th person is also going to be hired in the process of production, probably the 7th person is going to sit and chat up with the rest of them and what? Bring down the productivity, or there is going to be a fall in the marginal product. MP will move on to the negative quadrant. Fine? So, yeah, 7th person is going to be unproductive. Unproductive, or the MP goes on to the negative quadrant. Marginal product goes on to the negative quadrant. Yes? So, what about the total product then? 65 minus 5. So, that's going to become 60. You see that? Yeah? So, this is what happens in this negative return stage. What is this stage? It is a negative return stage. Coming back to the law, what did we see? Other things remaining the same. Even as the producer is going to employ more and more variable inputs, initially the firm will be enjoying increasing returns and then decreasing returns and then negative returns. Now that is what is reflected in this. Look at the total product. The total product is actually increasing. The total product is actually increasing. But what is the rate at which the total product is increasing initially? It is increasing at an increasing rate. Yes, leave out this initial one. Fine? 20 to 30. So by 10 units, it is increasing. The output is increasing by 10 units. And then from 35 to 55. So it is increasing by 15 units. Yes? And then 55 to 65. Yes? So look at this. Initially, there is an increase that's happening at an increasing rate. And then in the second phase, over here, we see that TP is still increasing, but that increase in the total product, it is only at a decreasing rate. Can you see this? This change, 65 minus 55, only 10. 65 constant, right? So maybe the total product has peaked. And what about the marginal product? See, 20 to 10, 10 to 0, started falling. Yeah, and then the last one, the last phase is where the total product, it starts falling. Before it falls, it attains maximum and then it starts falling. Yeah. So very clearly we can see that, very clearly we can see that there are three different phases. First is the increasing returns phase, where the TP is increasing at an increasing rate. And what about the marginal product? The marginal product is increasing. Now, after all, what is the marginal product? Marginal product is nothing but the rate of change of the total product, right? So, when TP is increasing at an increasing rate, that would only mean that MP is also increasing, isn't it? So that's precisely what we have in the table here. TP is increasing at an increasing rate. That means MP is increasing. See that? 10, 15, 20. Yeah. So, till here, we see that we have the first phase, the increasing returns phase. After that, what do we have? After that, we have the decreasing returns phase, wherein the TP is still increasing, but it is increasing at a decreasing rate, indicating that the marginal product has started actually falling. Look at this, from 20, it has gone down to 10, and then from 10, it has gone down to 0. Yeah? So there comes a stage where the marginal product is going to become 0, and that is where the total product will attain maximum. At the end of the second phase, or the decreasing returns phase, the marginal product is going to become 0 and the total product will attain maximum. Right? After that, the MP will continue to fall and it will go on to the negative quadrant, indicating that the total product has started falling for the first time. Till then, the total product keeps increasing. Look at this, it increases at an increasing rate, and then it increases at a decreasing rate, and then it attains maximum. After that, the total product falls. Look at this, from 65 it's gone down to 60, isn't it? From 65 it has gone down to 60. So the total product till then was increasing, maybe at different rates, yeah, but then it was increasing. After that, it starts falling. So that indicates it's a negative rate of increase, or rather the MP becomes negative out here. Yes, so yeah, let's finish this little bit of information here. Falling TP indicates that MP is negative. Yeah, so for the same reason, we have three different phases out here: increasing returns phase, decreasing returns phase, and negative returns phase. Now, the original law, yes, the original production function law, it was done in three different phases. Yeah. If you're curious to know, it was Alfred Marshall who came out with this theory. He came out with three different laws: the law of diminishing returns, increasing returns, and then the law of negative returns. The three, they were combined together, and the modern theorists, they came out with one single law, and that is the law of variable proportions, where just the three phases are combined. Yes, even as more and more variable inputs are going to be employed in the process of production, initially the total product increases at an increasing phase, and then the total product increases at a decreasing phase, and then it increases at a negative rate. Or rather, let's look into it in terms of MP. Even as more and more variable inputs are going to be hired in the process of production, the MP increases, attains maximum, falls, touches 0, and goes on to the negative quadrant. Yes? So, to sum up, this is your law of variable proportions as depicted through a schedule. Yeah? So, if you want to show this through a diagram, what I would suggest is take up two panels. Yeah? Use a two-panel diagram wherein you would be showing the total product in one particular panel and the marginal product in the other panel. Yes, let's try that. Fine. Now, This is the first panel wherein you have the input. Yes, which input? The variable input, right? Variable input is what is going to be increased, and the resultant output. So the total product, let's take it up in the along the y-axis in the first panel, right? Now, the second panel would be the depiction of the marginal product. How the marginal product is going to change with the variable input. Yes? So what am I going to do? I am simply going to show the behavior of these curves. It's enough if you show the behavior. You need not actually plot it in micro at this particular level. Yes, for better understanding, of course, you can plot it in the graph and then you can see how the curve behaves, the shape of the curve. Yes, that's fun to do it. Maybe you can do it. But in the exam, it's enough if you are just going to show the general behavior of the curves. Alright? Yes. So what do we have here? The very first panel, we are going to have the total product and the variable input. So even as we look at it, what do you understand? The total product is increasing at an increasing rate. Yes? And what about the marginal product? Marginal product is increasing and then it falls, becomes 0 and then becomes negative. So what I would suggest is you can take up the marginal product. Fine? You can take up the marginal product and yeah, that's going to be easy. Increases, it falls and then becomes 0. Goes on to the negative quadrant. Yes? Okay. So that could be your marginal product. That could be your marginal product. Increase in the marginal product, fall, it becomes 0 and then goes on to the negative quadrant. I have marked the different phases for you there. The very first phase is where the marginal product is increasing. Yes? Yeah. So show that. Show that in your diagram. Yeah, this is going to be the first phase wherein the marginal product increases, and then the second phase where marginal product starts falling and then becomes 0. Yeah, end of the second phase out here, and then the third phase is a negative returns phase. Increasing returns phase, decreasing returns phase. This is the negative returns phase. What have we done? We have done the marginal product. Yes? So, coming back to the first panel, what you can try and do is do your total product. Initially, the total product increases at an increasing rate. Alright? So, you look at the slope of your total product, then we can start actually the diagram from the origin. Though it is 1:1, it's understood that when there is no output produced, there is no requirement for the inputs, isn't it? This is a short run. Why will you be hiring laborer, or why will you be taking up, raw materials and so on in the short time period when there is no requirement to produce? Yeah. So the curve can as well begin from the origin, indicating that when there is no output, there is no input in the short time period. Yes. So when that is going to be the case, you can as well start your diagram from the origin. So starting it from the origin, the total product increases at an increasing rate, sharp increase. Fine? And then the second phase, what do we see? Marginal product falls. Total product still increases, but then it increases at a decreasing rate, isn't it? So yeah, this continues to increase, but then look at this, a general slope. And then it becomes maximum at the end of the second phase, when MP is going to become 0. Yes, when MP is going to become 0, the TP becomes maximum. And when MP goes on to the negative quadrant, the first time, the total product will start falling. So yeah. Yes, so this is going to be the increasing return stage. This is going to be the decreasing return stage. And this is going to be the negative return stage. Right? So this is how the short-run production function can be understood through a diagram. So the law of variable proportions of the short-run production function, and then the schedule, which explains the behavior of the total product and the marginal product, and the same is depicted through a diagram. So this is how the law of variable proportion can be understood in the short time period. Now why this kind of behavior? Why this kind of behavior? in the short run, why is it that the TP is initially increasing at an increasing rate and then decreasing rate and then negative rate? Yes, so that we will see in the next clipping. Yes, namaste.